Hey Pop Culture Pals, I'm here with an eBay update. I'm going to show you a couple of my better sales this week, particularly items that you may have already seen me talk about in one of my whatnot hauls, or maybe coming up because truthfully, I got things a little out of order. Let's see what we've got. We're going to start right here with this Star Wars X-Wing pilot or Poe boy's costume. This was a Disney store costume, really high quality. The only downside is it didn't come with all of the, um, it had sort of like tubes and piping that went with it that was not included. But the outfit itself was really nice condition. And for somebody who maybe cosplays with their children, it was a very nice suit. Um, I'm sure it was very expensive at the Disney store. I bought it in combination with another costume and probably paid less than 15 for the two combined. And this one sold. You can see I had it up for 19.99 with 6.50 shipping. I took an offer. All told, it came in at about $22. So again, deducting the numbers I'm going to give you are not profit. They are the raw numbers. You have to deduct shipping and eBay fees from that, but it's, you know, still a pretty good idea of what things go for. I might have been able to hold out on this and get a little bit more, but I like to flip things as long as I'm making a profit at it. Somebody wanted it right out of the gate pretty quickly after we put it up, so we let it go. This is a really funny one. Well, the next two combined. I have seen a lot of people sell ticket stubs. Now, I am a person again who loves the theater. I'm not particularly a concert person, but I still do not understand the concept of buying other people's ticket stubs. I get keeping your own ticket stubs so that you remember your visit to a particular concert. But apparently, there is a market for selling ticket stubs to shows that you didn't go to. Or maybe you went and you didn't save your ticket stub, so you want to buy somebody else's. I don't know. Or you're a really big fan of a band and you want to catalog their entire tour. Since I'm not usually used to this, I generally don't buy ticket stubs, but I had an opportunity to pick up a couple of packets of them and whatnot a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, oh, why not? I'm going to take a chance. I paid for a big pack of tickets, again, probably less than $5 shipped all in. And this lot of, again, not even that old, tickets from 2000, 2001, Alice Cooper, Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, Elton John, all of them concerts in the Colorado, Denver area, sold for $25 just for this little lot that you see right here. And you can even see one of the tickets has a cigarette burn in it. I was frankly really quite blown away that they sold very quickly for my asking price. So maybe I could have gotten more. Who knows? Some people will also take tickets apart, sell them individually. That is not my thing. What really surprised me was this, and it makes me wonder if I did go up too cheap on these. So these were Colorado Avalanche Stanley Cup ticket stubs from 2001. And as you can see, they are rounds 1 through 4. I had two different sets of these tickets for 2 different years. So they were complete tickets. It looks like on some cases the person never used them. They must have been a ticket holder. They got them but didn't use them all. They were really good seats. As you can see, the one price, if you can see it, it was a $162 ticket. Wow. And it maybe was my good fortune that I got these up while the Stanley Cup was happening. But I put this, I think, was the second set. The first set went within 24 hours of my putting it up. The Someone made me an offer of in the neighborhood of $27, and I was like, yeah, for these little bits of paper, sure. And the minute I took the offer, I thought, did I make a mistake? And then I put up the second round of tickets, and within a couple of days, these also sold at $30 to a different buyer. I thought at first it might be the same person, to a different buyer. What you want to look for if you are selling playoff tickets of any kind is what they call phantom tickets. So these would be tickets that were issued for a round and game that was never played. So because it's like a best out of 5, best out of 7 kind of series, They will print, I guess, tickets for the maximum number of games that could be played so that they can get those tickets sold. But if the team happens to win right out of the gate, then they don't play those last games. And I believe that the ticket owners could turn those in to get reimbursement, but many times they keep them because they are then valuable tickets because they are for a game that was never played. Those tickets can sell in the $200 or more range. These were not. As my research told me, these were all games that were played, and still I pulled in over $60 plus those tickets. Wow, almost to $100 return on about a $15 investment in ticket stubs. Wow, huh? I don't know that I would invest in sports ticket stubs again. I did this kind of because I have a little love for the Stanley Cup, but no doubt there's money in there if you want to take the time. The last three items I'm going to show you are all Star Trek related. So it has been a really weird Star Trek run on Whatnot. Um, and again, if you don't know what Whatnot is, just keep following me. I'm going to do a video on that too, but it is an auction site, live auctions. Think of Home Shopping Network, but selling, in my case, what I normally watch are storage auctions. So people who pick up a storage unit and sell what they got in there. About a year ago, a seller got a huge locker from a Star Trek fan who had sadly passed and has been selling items from that locker literally for a full year. I was on one of his auctions still today. Then another seller a few months ago had a smaller locker of Star Trek memorabilia, which I think this came from that locker. And then the last couple of days, another seller got a locker that had belonged to a Star Trek fan with yet even more fanzines and things like that. So it has been strange. Today there were literally two Star Trek fanzine auction sales on Whatnot happening at the same time. It's sad because again, it generally means that these people have passed on, and I'm sad about that. But I am glad that these things aren't getting thrown into the trash and that they're coming to fans like myself. So I again keep some of what I get and sell back some of what I get so I can afford to keep what I got. Anyway, rambling along. So this is one of the things I did pick up from one of the sales. This was a set of shore leave convention programs and a really cool shore leave um, first day cover. You'll see at the bottom of the screen. So this is a postage stamp that was issued on a special envelope. And in this case, then Shore Leave, the convention, used that envelope to mail these out to people, I guess, who had signed up for the convention. So it was kind of a little bonus they got, and it's quite cool. So it was specially marked. What's funny is I bought this, like I said, from a seller a few months ago, I would say. And the seller I was watching today had more of these. So such a small world. Even smaller world, I have to laugh, is I only just now realized, having been on the Star Trek auction today, that several of my Star Trek auctions that I sold on eBay, that I bought on Whatnot and sold on eBay, went to other Whatnot buyers. So people I was in the room with today fighting against to buy stuff was then buying them from me. If that's confusing, yeah, it is confusing. But so anyway, Star Trek convention programs, I really love them. I pick them up as kind of almost rescue, we like to call them. I just certainly don't want to see them go in the trash. They have lovely artwork and they're a great memory for people. That's people just kind of keep that convention light burning. So these did sell for $25 for the set. That was the super price. Happy to have it. Happy to see it go to a new home. This I almost didn't part with, but I just like again, there were so many things in this that I got that I wanted to keep. I had to let some of it go. This was called the Book of Roddenberry. It was a Star Trek parody, for lack of a better word, fan fiction zine. It sort of is a retelling of Roddenberry's creation of Star Trek in the style of the Bible. And I'm sorry if that is offensive to anybody. I think it's wonderful. It's It was really very sweet. I thought it wasn't insulting in the least. It was really fun. And it was lovely. You can see the way it was made up. It was all done on this parchmenty paper. Actually, if I can change, yeah, there you go. I can let you see what some of the other pages look like. This was the cover. Again, it was just something a fan did and put together. It was only a few pages. I'd never seen anything like it before. I did decide to part with it, and again, this did sell for 25. So that was super. I probably paid. I don't know. It's hard to say because of shipping built in, but I did buy this in a collection of other items, so it probably cost me less than 5. But really, it was about moving it on to another fan who would appreciate what it was, and I was surprised it did sell very quickly. The last item also came from a Star Trek convention, a Star Trek storage locker. I think this actually might have come from that very first original one that I mentioned, which another really weird small world note. I came to find out that the person who had passed, who had owned the original Star Trek locker, was a fan that I used to go to Media West with. So um, I didn't know her very well, but we were there at the same time, so we probably were acquainted. So crazy. Small world. Anyway, last thing I'm going to show you today is this 1991 Star Trek Tribble plush. This was a 25th anniversary item. Put batteries in it and you stroke it and it does wiggle and giggle and purr at you. Um, it just is a big ball of fuzz. It does that. The value was in the fact that it did still have its tag. And just for the giggles, I also included this little plastic coated Tribble. It was a piece from a catalog explaining about how to buy the item. Why not? It was there. There are several different times that they've made tribbles. The values are kind of all over the place depending on the condition, if they work, if they have tags, and how old they are. This one, relatively speaking, is not that old, 1991, but it did quite well. I was asking $25 and a $6.50 shipping. It ended up being purchased by an overseas buyer who paid $35 to have it sent to them. If you are an eBay seller and you're afraid of international shipping, it can be a little tricky to get going. Call eBay, have them help you set it up. But once you do, you'll send it through the eBay International program, which means you basically just stick an American label on it like you do anything else, and eBay figures out the rest. And they take control of it. It's their responsibility to get it from the US to the client, to the buyer, wherever they happen to be. All those fees are taken care of. You don't pay an extra cent out of your pocket. It's great. And in this case, it was really super because there was a foreign buyer that really wanted a Tribble, and now they have one. Those are the quick items I was going to show you today. Of all, I think the Tribble might have been the best, might have been the most profitable item, but all of these were really in the $25 range. Come on, actually, the Stanley Cup tickets probably were $30, or I think I took an offer at like 27 for these little pieces of paper. But they do commemorate, again, one of my favorite things, the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's what I have for you this week. Keep watching, keep subscribing, give me a like if you don't mind, and hit the subscribe button. I am going to continue to upload new eBay What Sold videos, and especially my unboxing videos of the fantastic finds from Whatnot. If you're a pop culture lover, stick around and see what I find.